Kyle Cassel was born on April 30th, 1988, in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. He currently lives in Newmanstown, Pennsylvania. Cassel served in the United States Marine Corps, and the highest rank he achieved was a corporal. He was raised and lived a fairly normal childhood. He has one brother. Cassel's parents own a painting business where Cassel currently works. When he got out of high school, he went straight into the Marines. At the time he graduated, Mr. Cassel did not want to attend college. He just wanted to get out of the town he lived in and go after what he had always wanted to do. The United States Marine Corps was the one dream Cassel had always hoped to achieve. Not only did he serve in the field, he also worked years as a civilian contractor, traveling to different military bases. Mr. Cassel served in the field from July 25, 2006 to July 25, 2010. He arrived at Parris Island Boot Camp a little differently than the usual arrivals. There were some flight delays, which caused half of the recruits to arrive in the morning. They took a bus into camp, but when they got to the gates, they were told to keep their heads down. Most recruits usually arrive at night, so they don't know exactly where they are at. This is to make sure that no one will try to get out of boot camp. Cassel's circumstances made entrance to camp in broad daylight just another interesting story to hear.
Do you remember arriving at training camp?
Yeah, our flight actually got delayed when I was supposed to leave Harrisburg, so half of our platoon got there a day late, and some of us actually got there in like the late afternoon, and normally they take everybody on in a bus when it's still dark out, so they do that so that way you're not supposed to see where you're going as you're going across the bridge. So the few of us that had to go during the day, once we got to the gate at Parris Island, we all had to tuck our heads down between our legs and not look out the windows.
Boot camp and basic training was over, Cassel went to his MOS training in firearms for 3 months. After those months of basic training and then special training, he was sent to Hawaii. Hawaii is where Cassel spent the majority of his service in the field. He worked as a firearms instructor and trained other troops on how to use and reload their weapons. His days were spent at the armory or the range, where he never got into any field battles. His base in Hawaii was never attacked. Hawaii is a very nice place to be stationed because of the weather and different sights to see.
Because you work with firearms, how was the shooting range for you?
Well, actually, I got used to get double tasked for the ranges. I would have to go out to be a range armor, which what was involved with that was while everybody was on the shooting line going, if anybody had any problems that the people that were coaching the shooters couldn't solve, and they would come over to the speaker and yell for us, and we'd have to run up with just a little tool bag or something. We never knew what the problem would be, and just do quick checks and fixes. Or 9 times out of 10, it's just was a shooter problem where they didn't clean it properly. But sometimes it would be, something was catastrophic on the weapon, so it was safer to just take it and issue them a new one than it was to allow them to shoot. But I also went to another MOS school to be a shooting instructor. So while I was supposed to do the range armor stuff, I was also supposed to be spotting and coaching shooters while they were on the line. So as long as it wasn't a big range packed full of people, that wasn't bad. But if it was a heavy range day,
sand in weapons is one thing that could have been an issue. Cassel's never really had too much of an issue with sand in weapons, just as long as the other soldiers didn't make the weapons too sticky. Cassel's favorite weapon to work with was the Mark 19. This was a grenade launcher that was also very difficult to take apart and put back together. Cassel said although it was his favorite, it could be a pain. The easiest was a rifle because everyone was familiar with it. He would much rather work on a couple of Mark 19s a day rather than 100 rifles. Cassel had as much family contact as he wanted, and his family often came to visit him in Hawaii. His favorite part about seeing his family was that he got to show them all of the different sights and tourist spots. Cassel had a couple of activities he enjoyed while in Hawaii for recreation. The beach was the place he enjoyed going to the most. He also enjoyed jogging past the Pearl Harbor memorials. The barracks on his base were decent and slept 2 to a room. They sometimes pulled pranks on their friends and sergeants. Cassel made friends and learned to deal with people, even if he didn't like them. One thing he remembers most about the military's teaching is that no matter how much you dislike the person, you always respect the rank.
favorite places to go, at the time we used to go to this place. It's called Bellows Beach, which is actually like a military installation. But on the weekends they'd open the gate up and you could go back so far, and then there was another gate like even farther down the road in there. But the beach was open to the public for the weekend, but I guess from what my old friends had said. Like since then, that's changed. But Pearl Harbor was neat. I was fortunate enough that the base I was on was right there. So when we got to do PT in the morning, we got to run across the bridge that was right by the Arizona Memorial. So I got to see that quite a bit.
What kind of pranks, if any, did you pull while you were in the military?
Since we were in a headquarters unit, we didn't really have a lot to do during the day. So we kind of sit around the armory and wait to mess with each other. The one day we completely duct taped my sergeant's desk shut, and before he even came back, at my time I was only a PFC, so I told my corporal, like, as soon as he gets back, he's just gonna snap his fingers and point to his desk. And when he did show up, he looked around and laughed a little bit and did exactly what I said he was going to. But other than that, the way our armory was set up, it has really heavy steel doors to be in a secure building, and our big heavy door opened in, and our bathroom door opened into the bathroom. So we would take, it's called 550 cord. It's really strong paracord, and we would tie it around the doorknob of the bathroom when somebody went in, and we would open our steel door, and we would tie it as tight as we could, and then slam the steel door shut, because the 550 cord would stretch a little bit, and when they do that, if they would try and open the bathroom door, there's no way they're getting out.